Jaime Escalante rose from the destruction of an abusive father, immigrating from Bolivia and starting over in America mopping floors and skepticism to pave the way for Hispanic students and teachers. Believe in yourself and hard work and you will get there. That is the legacy of Jaime Escalante. Jaime was born in La Paz, Bolivia on December 31st, 1930 to Sarah and Zenobio Escalante, who were both teachers. However, teachers in Bolivia received very low wages and the family often had to stretch money to make ends meet. Jaime shared a home with his parents and 3 siblings. His mother was an integral person in his life. When Jaime was asked who influenced his decision to become a teacher, he said, his mom. One day she took an orange and sat it on the table. She said, "This is a sphere." Then she cut it in half and said, "This is symmetry." Jaime later said this simple moment planted the seed of curiosity in his mind. His father, however, was an alcoholic and his resentment of their poor wages came through when drinking. He often took that anger out on his wife and children. One particular incident Jaime never forgot was when he was 8 years old. His friend had given him a pack of gum, which was something he didn't often get to indulge in. His father came home drunk and saw him chewing on the gum. His father asked where he got it, and when Jaime told him, he called him a liar, accused him of stealing, and struck him across the face. It hurt Jaime to know that his father did not have faith in him. At the age of 14, Jaime's mother had saved up enough money for him to attend San Calixto Jesuit High School. He was very successful at San Calixto. When Jaime graduated from high school, he wanted to attend engineering school, but his mother could not afford for him to go. For a short time, Jaime was in the army during a short-lived Bolivian revolution. After that, while speaking to a friend about career choices, he remembered something his mother had told him. "If I give you money, you will spend it, and in a short time it will be gone. But if I teach you something, you'll have it forever." Escalante took his friend's advice and began schooling to become a teacher. His first teaching position was at American National as a physics teacher. He taught there and continued his teaching education. Like any first-year teacher, Escalante had no idea what he was doing at the beginning. There were no textbooks, lessons, or notes. After administering the first test and seeing the results, he realized he needed to change his tactics. He began tutoring students after school. This was a practice he kept for the rest of his teaching career. In 1954, Jaime was offered a position at his alma mater, San Calixto. He took the position, and this is where he began honing his teaching skills. He said of his early teaching days, "Early in my career, I found that children learn better when learning is fun, when it is a game and a challenge. I cast the teacher in the role of a coach, and the students are my team." This approach was very successful for Escalante throughout his teaching career. That same year, Jaime married Fabiola Tapia. She was the leading influence for Jaime's move to America. Fabiola's brothers had moved to California and often told of the opportunities in America. She worried about Escalante's social life in Bolivia, and they now had a small son. After an incident at San Calixto, Fabiola finally persuaded Jaime to move to California. This was a difficult move for Escalante. He left his family behind and would send for his wife and son when he got steady work and income. California did not recognize any of Jaime's schooling and experience in regards to teacher certification, and his English was poor. He had to start all over. He found a job mopping the floor of the Vandekamp restaurant in Pasadena. He began taking classes at a community college in order to improve his English. His dream of becoming a teacher, though, seemed almost impossible. In order to provide for his family, Jaime started a career in electronics. In 1967, Escalante worked on the assembly line for the Burroughs Corporation. He continued to attend school and received his associates in 1969. In 1973, he earned his mathematics degree from Cal State. Due to his strategic planning and innovative ideas, he was moving up quickly in the Burroughs Corporation. However, he longed to teach and was not giving up on his passion. He applied for the National Science Foundation Scholarship, and after an impressive performance on the test and interview and an enthralling lesson, he won the scholarship. He was now able to finish school and become a teacher. Jaime was given 3 choices of schools to teach at. He chose Garfield High due to the high Latino demographics. He began teaching basic math at Garfield and was disappointed in the low level of expectations the teachers had for the students. He was even more disappointed when he met the students. They were using their fingers to add. They had no supplies. There was fighting and cursing. It was chaos. The actual classroom had graffiti everywhere. Escalante began addressing every student individually in the classroom and asking what they expected out of the class. He said in order for them to learn, the environment in the classroom needed to be changed. He was able to convince the students to come in on a Saturday to clean and paint the room. In order to motivate the students, he had to make class interesting. He often used props such as his old chef hat and a butcher knife to cut an apple in order to teach the students about percentages. He also incorporated music and worked hard to create lessons that the students could relate to. Escalante took the time to get to know his students on a personal level and felt he could relate to them. One of the Escalante students, Sergio Valdez, said, "Mr. Escalante even let me bring my sister into summer classes when I had to babysit, and that was okay with him. He lived for his students, and he was determined to see them succeed." At this time, there was no AP math class at Garfield High. It was believed the material was too difficult for the students. Escalante thought differently. He took on an AP calculus class. He realized the students would need a lot of help and resources to pass the exit exams. He finally convinced the principal at the time to purchase textbooks. In 1978, Escalante had his first class of advanced placement calculus students. 2 out of the 5 students passed the test. This meant it could be done. The following year, 6 out of 9 passed the test, and then in 1981, 14 out of 15 passed. Escalante was ecstatic and determined more than ever. His course was not easy. The commitment to take the AP class was grueling. Students had to sign contracts and were required to attend tutoring sessions before and after school. He also got the parents involved. That kid belongs to you. He doesn't belong to the state or the school. He's your kid. You have to help me out to raise this kid. Even though it was tough, he kept the students engaged and motivated with his creative, enthusiastic teaching style. In the spring of 1982, Escalante's largest class of 18 students took the exam. They all passed, and not only did they pass, but they did so with high scores. Unfortunately, the excitement of their accomplishment was short-lived. The testing center, ETS College Board, had reason to believe the students had cheated and did not accept the scores. Escalante was furious, and the students were disheartened. They had worked so hard. The only solution to the problem was to have the students retake the test. It had been 2 months since they had taken the first one and did not have the opportunity to study during that time. All 18 students retook the test, and once again, all 18 students passed the test. They had proven themselves. This amazing feat soon became national news, and Escalante had been deemed a hero. The news even reached Bolivia, where his siblings and Sarah, his mother, heard about how amazing this American teacher, their Jaime, was. The story caught the attention of the movie industry, and in 1988, the movie Stand and Deliver, starring Edward James Olmos as Jaime Escalante, was released. Olmos said about the movie, "This film is really about the triumph of the human spirit. It's about something we've lost, the joy of learning, the joy of making our brains develop." Jaime Escalante continued to teach and won numerous awards and notoriety. In 1991, Jaime left Garfield High School, and he retired from teaching in 1998 at the age of 67. He was inducted into the Teachers Hall of Fame in 1998. Escalante was an inspiration to the students he taught and the teachers who admired him. I felt inspired reading about him. After reading this book, I thought how wonderful it would be for my staff to watch the movie Stand and Deliver. Our school is 95% Hispanic and in second year of improvement required. Escalante's story is a great reminder of why we are teachers and what quality teaching should look like. It reinforces how if we make learning enjoyable and put our students on the forefront of our teaching and planning, students will succeed. Like Escalante said, if we expect winners, they become winners. And if we expect losers, they act like losers. Our expectations can give our kids roots and wings.